Sitting here tonight, and old David Rockefeller's surveillance network. Um, he's wrong. He's wrong about people. He really is. I think most people are tentative and unsure and frightened and lonely and angry. Okay, well, because David Rockefeller had the most extensive surveillance network in the history of the world. So he had more access to people's private information and their private, than any other person ever in the history of the world. His spy network, he thought he knew people. But you got to understand, his spy network, for the most part, watch people involved in arrogant, egotistical world power. And then the people like with me, when he watches my family, you got to understand my father-in-law's, because Chief's a really good guy, and Peter wasn't a bad person, He just laughed because Rockefeller's sitting there laughing, Man pays $100,000 to become an Episcopal priest, and his son-in-law is the spirit of Jesus. Like, yeah, it's kind of funny. Okay. He goes, "Your fucking family. One's a pastor, another one's studying to be a pastor. Your sister goes to Pastor Andrew Womack's fucking Jesus crazy school, right? Pays lots of money to do it. Your dad constantly writes books about God and is reading his books about God, and you come and share the Gospels with him, and it makes him look like a complete moron, and then he gets mad at you because you're interrupting the Gospels when you come to share your arrogant bullshit with him." Like, yeah, the irony of it is not lost on me. It kind of almost makes you chuckle, and I get that. But you got to understand, my family is dealing with, I'm not validated, okay? Because the wealthy haven't recognized me and said, "This man is the Messiah. We have the science to prove it," right? Rockefeller never stepped up and said, "You're a kid. We got the science to prove. It's in the books." But I'll explain it to him. But since I'm not Rockefeller and the scientists from Oxford, Cambridge, and MIT and Caltech, and so it's not, until all the assholes come in and say it is for God, we have the science to prove it. My family's like, "No, he's full of shit." And even some of the people in my family, if they came up and showed them with the science, "Look, it's right." I'd say it to them, but they're like, "No, you're just making this shit up." I didn't make this shit up. They told me, and then I had to figure it out on my own. Yeah, it's like, "Here, we're going to give you the minimal amount of declassified information. What can you do with this?" "Well, I can make a boat. I can make a hat," right? Remember Johnny from Airplane, right? So, but he's wrong. He's wrong about people. I think most people are arrogant, pretentious assholes who think they know everything, and they don't know their butt from a hole in the ground. I was like, yeah, I understand that, because they're confused and they're scared and they're angry and they're psychotic. But I think that's just like the people like my father-in-law and how it affects my dad. He really, I like Chief Gillard a lot too. And Rockefeller, he thought Gillard was a good guy, and I was like, well, yeah, I concur. He's a good guy. Chief Gillard was a good person. And everybody, he cheated on Kay. Anybody in their right mind would get sick of Kay's bullshit. She pushed him one too many times. She always did that shit. "If you ever screwed around on me, I'd do this and that and that." And my Steffi used to do that to me all the time too. Law would cheat on me and then turn around and tell me, "You might be cheating on me." She'd get mad if she thought I was cheating on her, but she cheated 4 times on Sunday and then got mad because she thought I was cheating. It's like, I'm not cheating. And then she turned around from watching Oprah and saying, what I did was worse than she did. She went back and got back at guys that were shitty to her in school and had sex with them, and I made something better than you. And I fell in love with Sergeant Montalvo, so I really cheated. Okay. She went and made them wear condoms and screwed around to get back at them. But I fell in love with Sergeant Montalvo because Law was cheating on me, and I inside I knew it. And Miriam wanted me to be with her, and because she wanted a guy like me, and I fell in love with her and the boys. And then Law turned around after watching Oprah and saying, "What you did to me was worse because you emotionally cheated. I physically cheated, but you fell in love with Miriam. I just screwed them." Yeah, that Oprah, she's a fucking genius, and so are a psychologist. And boy, that Dr. Oz and Dr. Phil, fuck, They're going to save us all with that brilliant mindset right there. Fix us all little, pick us up and fix all us broken little birds. Dr. Phil, you're such a genius. So I can see why Rockefeller hated people. And I understand, but he's wrong. Okay? Because he only has access to all the elitists and all the problem solvers and all the great thinkers and all the egomaniacs. He doesn't have the everyday people praying. See, he had the science and the research of all the little girls praying to Jesus to save them, and then when they, told me you're not even paying attention, all these little girls are praying to you to save them, there was nothing I could do about it. And then when they sent me to Sierra Vista and then told me what was happening, then I got up to do something about it. It's like, well, you can't stop it. Technically, I did. Okay. I got up to do something about it. The scientist wanted to be the cure of it, and we all know what happened. And they radically cut down on the human trafficking. During the Biden administration, they cleaned it up and cleaned up the brothels, and the girls became internet porn stars on Facebook and whatever and wherever, and Skype and Twitter and I don't know, all those WhatsApps and whatever, and stuff. So yeah, they became, hook up Skype, girlfriend experience porn stars, and made a lot of them made millions of dollars instead of getting raped to death in Mexico. And it's like, wow, that's empowering women. Boy, that's the Lord's Prayer. They don't want the Lord's Prayer. It's like, why not? Not all little girls can be porn stars to be millionaires. But when we live the Lord's Prayer, all little girls can love and be loved. And then we're not fighting, we're not competing, we're not comparing, we're actually loving, right? So, yeah, he really fucked up. He really screwed the pooch. Him and Philip Rothschild really screwed up. Okay? Because they were trying to call the hypocrites on their shit, and they caught all the hypocrites on their shit. But everyday people are still getting massively fucked because of all these egomaniacs, and their science is going to fix everything, and you just don't get it because you're too stupid. It's like everybody prays to me as their God, and I'm the living embodiment of the Lord's Prayer, and that's the Lord's perfection. All the people trying to play God in their head are all fucked up because Rothschild and Rockefeller fucked up. And all the people fighting with Rothschild and Rockefeller to be the gods of the planet through their science project are fucking up. Okay. And then I talked to Sun Yat-sen and D.T. Suzuki, and you get people, you say these things. I can say whatever the fuck I want about Indians. I can say whatever the fuck I want about Japanese, D.T. Suzuki, don't think that Hirohito and Magashima are anything like me. They're assholes. Just because they're Japanese doesn't mean that, just because that girl's Asian doesn't mean she's a fucking genius because she has IQ scores that are off the charts. But the IQ is to, kill people over money with science projects, right? You're like, yeah, I get it. So the best people that China and Japan have to offer talk to me and say, don't judge me because of them. Krishnamurti, in India, and I told Dad about India today. I said, Krishnamurti, that drove him crazy. The mortality rate of the people that die in abject poverty in India is off the charts because of the barbarian mythology they turned Krishna's life into, and then the barbarian warfare between the people that have rejected the mythology and then accepted the violent warfare male-dominated mythology that was invented by the people that took Islam and turned it into a violent male sex cult. So it's horrid, what's happening with the Indian. And that's what Judu said, India is a great country except for all the Indians. Because there's a lot of people in India that are real mean, aggressive fucking assholes. Okay? And a lot of them are women, And so, Indira Gandhi didn't do anything to make the country a better place. She just was an arrogant, pretentious person who thought she knew better than all the poor, stupid people that believed in eight-armed goddesses and shit and monkey gods in the sky. It's like, well, if you know better, why can't you apply the physics of the Lord's Prayer and share it with everybody in the country so they're not mass murdering each other and not trying to mass reproduce because they're being mass murdered off the face of the planet with archaic bullshit they believe to be religion. Right? Do you understand? Okay, so hey, Judah Krishnamurti talks to me. The fuck for the buck stops here, right? So I'll say whatever the fuck I want. Son of man. People say he's crazy, but they brains is lazy. So I'm gonna stay up for a while, play another game or two with Western New Mexico, and let's load this one up because you guys need a good old fashioned ass whooping, and the disco lights are kicking your butt into the 21st century, so you can live reality instead of fuck you, fuck me, more money, twins, Basil. Yeah, get in the time machine and okay, just don't think about that. Just enjoy the movie. No, fuck the movie. The movie's fucked. Enjoy life. Live the Lord's Prayer. Okay, guys, love you, man. Peace out.